very handily in a lot of these.
So both teams have tried kind of the same tactic in the games against Edward Gaming and Samsung White, where they would have some early game aggression, see if they can get a kill and then start rolling from there. It just didn't pay off for any of the teams. And now against each other, I feel like we're going to go back to more, I would say, safe picks and normal picks for these teams.
I wonder if Blitzcrank is a normal pick here for GreenTea at this point, because...
Hey, Thresh is gone. It's got to be.
Yeah, I mean...
It wasn't during the season, at least.
No, definitely not.
It's been a snowball pick, to be honest, from GreenTea, but maybe he liked what he has been doing on the Blitzcrank and wants to lock it in again. But if AHQ actually takes the Lee Sin here, I like it because it's definitely Crystal's best jungler.
Nidalee left unbanned, though, for Fab Fabulous.
Yep.
That's definitely a champion he basically took Dark Passage to Worlds with. His top lane during the International Wildcard Tournament on Nidalee was devastating.
See how he plays that one with this. Will Holyphoenix actually grab that Lucian? And he does. He's going to go ahead and take that right away from GarnetDevil.
So two very important picks for Dark Passage. You just talked about the Nidalee, and what Dark Passage did in the Wildcard Tournament was they made 100% sure they would get one-on-one lanes for Fab Fabulous on this Nidalee, so he could dominate one-on-one, and he did. They should look to do the same, and it also really explains the Lucian pick coming in, such a strong laner. I wonder if AHQ wants to play Tristana into the Lucian, though.
Yeah, but it'd be cooler if they played Graves.
It would be.
I mean, yeah, it would be.
Listen, actually, so Twisted Fate, there it is. Okay. I want to talk about Graves a little bit. Just a little bit. Because Trist seems to overshadow him, but they're completely different type champions. The Graves buffs that hit were actually very substantial. If you combo him with Janna, the burst that he puts out, around level 5 even, is absolutely absurd. When Lucian was a little bit weaker before the change, a lot of people were thinking Graves was just kind of like, oh, he's like a bad Lucian, is what people would say. Now he's just a good Graves, right? Like, he can actually create a lot. There are some teams in China that picked him. I'm looking forward to see GarnetDevil's take.
And of course, what you can do down this bottom lane is, once westdoor comes down with the tier vault and he lands the stun, you have so much burst from the Graves. It's very, very hard to fight in these small skirmishes against a TF and a Graves at the same time, especially early on. So it opens up for AHQ just to start a fight and instantly kill a target and therefore have the numbers advantage.
It looks like Dark Passage also saw that chap. They separate those two. Janna going to the side of Touch here, along with Holyphoenix onto Lucian. What does GreenTea decide to pick here? He just makes and creates advantages, opportunities for AHQ. Leona can do that, but he's going to have to wait a little bit longer to get to that late game.
So the AHQ playstyle in the GPL is very focused on fighting all the time. We are somewhat talking a royal style here, where you really want to just set up these picks here. You want to surprise the enemy team as well. And they have a lot of pick potential. But by locking in Leona here when there's already the Janna pick, it becomes a lot harder to find these fights and these picks they want to find.
Still giving a good bit of burst there if you can proc the Leona passive, getting out some buckshot to trade in lane. Something that'll put you right at the enemy's turret, give them a hard time. So they actually lock that in. It's going to be the round out here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game from AHQ. They're going to go in.
Ooh,
and
cool.
Despite that's a little weird, actually, here, because Dark Passage was building a team that was very capable of disengaging, and then they build a champion who does nothing but go in.
Seems to be a theme.
Yeah, and
once or twice there.
Vi doesn't really fit with a Nidalee as well, because Nidalee you want to split push pretty much for the entire game long, and then the rest of your members is focused on sieging and focused on disengaging. But maybe this one had this pick potential in case Fab Fabulous does well in his one-on-one, and then they want to look for a fight after.
But yeah, so how does that Vi work in a perfect world for these guys?
Well, basically what they're going to do is, if they get this 4v4 and they see someone out of position, they're going to engage with the Vi, get the first kill. You have Ahri as well, follow up with the charm. So you have a lot of burst potential between these two champions alone, a lot of pick potential.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you kind of want to have more poke and more disengage as well.
It would basically work if they can somehow get really far ahead in the game, because then if they have a strong Nidalee split pusher, they have the potential to both disengage and engage if they have like a huge numbers advantage. But at this level, you generally don't get that far ahead or have that type of numbers advantage.
Well, it could be a long game, so we'll see. Last time these teams matched up, it went 40 minutes long, a little bit longer than our average games we've been seeing here at Worlds, but these two guys love to scrap it out as well. Dark Passage is not afraid to try to make plays ahead or behind. The match is about to get underway, so show the team some love and tweet hashtag AHQ win or DP win to @LOL Esports, and we'll be checking in to see who you think will take that victory.
So I actually wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a lot of action with both Fabulous and Crystal at the same time, and that could also explain the Vi pick, where they want to use it to set up an easy kill for the Nidalee in the one-on-one. We've seen it before in the wildcard tournament. They'd love to play together, those two.
I think we're going to be onto the rift here. AHQ, doesn't look like they're setting up anything crazy. Dark Passage, we'll see if they can get themselves into a position. See, it looks like it has Nas something up with his keyboard, maybe signifying that something didn't load correctly. We'll get that in just a few seconds.
What's nice about this, actually, is it kind of reminded me of how few pauses we've had during the World Championship.
Oh,
It's been smooth sailing this far, you know? Knock on the desk.
Well, again, really want to see what Crystal wants to do on this Vi pick. If we're basically going to see, like, Dark Passage 100% bet on the fact that Fabulous is going to win one-on-one. He's going to get his kill, and then you just start a fight and he teleports in and you're 5 members against 4, and that's the way they want to play the game.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, against something like a Twisted Fate, if you can engage onto him, he's a very mobile target. I mean, he has his teleport, yes, but that's it. If you get onto him and you have a charm as well from Ahri, you can kill him instantly. So there's a lot of like kill pressure and burst potential between the Vi and the Ahri pick here, which could be used to surprise AHQ.
Looking at the Dark Passage team composition, it's almost like they just picked for each lane. They don't have a overall cohesion to the team, but each lane can do well in its own right, and then Vi will work well with every lane individually. So it's very much a team that just wants to stay, maybe a 1-3-1 split push, 1-2-1 with Vi going around trying to make plays, something like that. But once again, those require gargantuan leads to actually work. And AHQ is very good individually, and it's unlikely to happen.
They do have a pretty good like mid-game siege though. Push, you have Janna and Lucian at the same time, so they might be able to set something up around this 15-20 minute mark. Once again though, the Nidalee pick needs to do work.
See what these teams can get out of the early game. A peripheral issue all fixed up, not a problem here. And we get the game underway. Seen Dark Passage a few times getting some very, very deep wards in. A team that likes to get the 2v2. Looks like they're going to get it anyways out of this one with no problem or extra work needed.
This pick here for GreenTea is still very, very risky when you are against a Janna. I mean, the Monsoon or the Hurricane itself can basically stop Leona from ever going in. Yes, you can land your ulti from range, but that's going to be it. And unless you use that onto the Janna itself, there will always be the potential of the disengage. But there's a lot of like upfront CC coming from AHQ. You have Irelia stun, you have Twisted Fate, and of course Leona following in.
Yeah.
So one member from Dark Passage out of position, and suddenly he's left for dead.
Yeah, it's one of these team comps from AHQ where it just takes a gold card and then everyone else can pile on really, really easily. And it makes a lot of sense here. westdoor's Twisted Fate is legendary for a reason.
I will like to predict the Mikhail's fairly early here for
Hold touch that.
I hope he's going to build it. There's a lot of targets here where...
Well, we've seen the Magi's lately, right? Everybody would be like, oh, that's a troll. But not really. Now when you're Janna, you can sit on the back line. We've seen Magi's coming out all over the place this Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, Soul Stealer is fine as long as you don't actually need the Mikhails as the early item, which in this comp you definitely do. One of the reasons actually we don't see Leona very often is because she's countered so hard by Mikhails and by disengage from all these supports here.
So a little bit of help, obviously, to the junglers to keep them on par here throughout the early game. They're going to end up on opposite sides of the jungle, so we'll see how that affects the solo lane for Crystal up top if he chooses to go hard with Fabulous. Not much crowd control to work with there, so they may just keep themselves safe, and Crystal wants to get himself to 6. There's the damage already coming out of Holyphoenix, and Touch trying to get a little upper hand.
They had to win this early game from Touch and Holyphoenix side. When you have the Lucian, you have the Janna as well. Leona can only go in and kind of execute one minion, and then she's pretty much done in the early push. So Dark Passage will be winning their race for level 2 in this bottom lane, and should be able to actually... Whoa!
And
how on earth did they lose?
2. That is not good for Dark Passage. Exhaust burn for nothing.
How on earth?
They didn't push fast enough. Straight up. They used both of the Targon stacks to push faster. GarnetDevil used his buckshot. Graves Leona pushed faster than in this case.
Well, that shouldn't have happened here with the double range. They should easily have been able to get the minions down in time. Yes, okay, the Relic Shield is annoying to deal with, but you have the Janna. And we have seen this Janna pick for like Royal Club. being used to always get the early pressure and always get the early level 2 because they can just instantly push their way for the double ranged.
The importance of those early game mechanics. We actually saw Holyphoenix and Touch had a bit of an upper hand, but they were going for the auto attacks, not the CS.
Very true. They were trading, trying to trade instead of going for minions.
Pays off for Garnet and GreenTea in the end. They're going to go ahead and get this pressure on very nicely. This may call Crystal down now as he ended up in the top lane.
And the only thing they actually gained from the trade with the champions was the fact Graves has used his health potion, but that was it.
Yep.
So we had full focus on minions from AHQ, full focus on champions from Dark Passage. In the end, didn't pay off.
Going to be warded out on that. The team says don't even worry about it. We're going to ping you here. There's a ward in the bush right now. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and hover around the white in his jungle. Slowly waiting in the fog now. Nas sitting on his own ward, so he's safe for that one. Looks like that one just died behind red, so he's not going to be known that he's in the upper part of the jungle. Crystal, however, going for the gank.
A little surprised he's coming down here so early. The level 3 Vi gank is typically not super threatening, but they're hoping to catch GreenTea in an all-in. It was kind of given away that was spotted, and they backed up as soon as he walked on the ward.
Could be a very nice path, though, for Crystal to come back around this one. Westdoor says, my spidey sense is going off. I'm going to rotate up towards Nas. This will be a safe escape.
Yeah, and he knows where Crystal is, and of course his own jungle on the top side, so he's should be fairly safe. Now he needs to be careful, though, because Crystal's been gone for a while, and he doesn't actually know where he is anymore.
Yeah, if they could combo a charm, they may have enough damage to kill. Vi level 3 is actually pretty low on damage. I'm very surprised he's trying for so many level 3 ganks here.
Uh-oh. Should be all right. Fat Fabulous gets himself in the brush. He'll get that speed. A little bit harassed, but the knowledge of Nas now in the favor of Crystal. He's going to start denying some jungle.
Crystal is actually not running Ghost on his Twisted Fate, like we see from most other regions or Twisted Fate players, simply just for the extra mobility, both in team fights and also for your ganks. It's extremely strong. He wants some more lane pressure here against Naru, so we could potentially see him and Nas try and go for some kills in his mid lane. Crystal, though, is back to farming, even though he did delay himself quite a bit by actually standing both in the bottom lane and then up towards his mid lane.
We'll see what Crystal does from this. He doesn't feel too safe right now, obviously just grabbing the big one. Gonna leave that and try and hurt Nas, more than help him out on that one. Holyphoenix now getting the lane pushed up. They're keeping it quite even in CS across the board, so it's all about this first move. No jungler there to assist on that, and westdoor is going to have to back off of this. Not much mana. Looks like he's going to stay, get these last two.
I'm still paying a lot of attention to Crystal because he is really delaying his level 6 here, and he spent so much time to wait around in the brush. Unless he gets something positive happening, he's going to set himself way behind.
Well, going in for this one here, but force a flash.
Oh, they do indeed force the flash. Ardent Blaze does not give Phoenix enough room to continue to chase with the passive speed. Nice light bringers, though, keeping on that harass, calling Nas down, walking through a ward. Upper hands now, little plays going in favor of Dark Passage. Naru tries to go hard in the mid lane. The Ignites are used. Orb of Deception just missing as he eats 2 shots from the turret.
Still some very good aggression here from Naru in the mid lane. He's actually been pretty impressive this tournament. He's been holding his own in lane for most of the games, and also just at the wildcard tournament, he was one of the most impressive mid laners, showing some great mechanics. Bottom lane though, yes, you force a flash from Leona, but you have to return now to this bottom lane and punish her for not having the flash. Otherwise, it's not really worth it, and at the same time, you want to just sit back and farm now and get your level 6.
He's such a low level, yeah, exactly. Maybe he could return a level 6, but if you're Vi, you want to use that level 6 gank, usually mid lane with Naru's Ahri to create a guaranteed kill, where the flash has been burned as well.
It really seems like, though, the tactic from Dark Passage evolves around Holyphoenix. And Crystal, in most of the games, is actually paying a lot of attention to the bottom lane very early on. Against Samson White, some of the games we saw, he would just sit bottom lane even when his buffs were spawning, and he would actually end up losing both, or at least lose the blue buff because he was still sitting bottom lane, trying to get Holyphoenix ahead. And I don't feel like they have to. He's doing fine alone in the laning phase. Why not rush for level 6, go mid lane, and get Naru ahead on this Ahri pick here so he can snowball.
Try to build up another advantage, get something else going. A little too much focus maybe towards the bottom lane. Naru will be coming up with 6. We just saw the trade with westdoor in the mid lane, and that's something that was really awesome about this last matchup is there are great trades between these teams. Now we're going to see that Destiny towards the top lane. That Fabulous jumps out. They're going to get this one to Prydz. He is forced to use his flash, but they do pick up first blood.
And that was such a good ulti by westdoor here. First of all, there was a ping ward to make sure there was no ward from Dark Passage, spotting him going towards the top lane. And then you get the kill on Nidalee. She needs to win her laning phase. She needs to become stronger one-on-one. Then the Irelia pick here. So very nice gank. And once again, there was no pressure on westdoor here. He could just go up there and teleport.
That's the biggest thing. I kind of blame Naru there for having a lapse in pressure against westdoor because he was doing so well. He'd already burned his flash. Westdoor didn't have much left, and then he just let him walk in a lane and kill his top lane.
And as soon as the gank actually happened, Naru walked in, placed a ward behind the ping ward here, so now they can actually see westdoor move towards the top side. But the ult is already on cooldown, so it's not really going to do anything for him with the ward here.
So great job by westdoor, as you mentioned, chat, not having much left. He uses that gate to the top lane. Not gonna have his flasher as ignite, but he helps Prydz get that kill. We're gonna have Fabulous trying to get some deep vision in that may help DP get some of their advantages.
I need to see what Crystal does with this first Vi ultimate. He's already so far behind. He's got 22 CS 9 minutes in and just hit level 6. If he doesn't make a positive impact off this next Vi ultimate, I don't think he'll have a positive impact at any point in this game.
Both Irelia and Twisted Fate without ultimate at the moment. Dark Passage could go and look for a kill here. You have Naru ready, has his ulti. Crystal as well.
They're definitely trying for this blue buff right here. It's on top of a ward. Nas is level 6 as well. There's red buffs on both junglers. It's kind of a testy move here, but there are a couple flashes down on the solo laner, so it's a really difficult collapse by the rest of AHQ.
We already have the roam coming up for GreenTea. They really feel like something is going to happen here. Dark Passage is taking a little too long to grab this one. Full rotation from the bottom lane already coming up. westdoor going to try to close on this one too. Looks like AHQ moves around quite a bit. They're still going to get the blue on the side of Dark Passage.
So they played it safe, but they did actually manage to pick up the blue buff here, and that was basically just AHQ saying we have no flash on our solo laners. We don't want to risk this fight here because one ulti from Crystal and Naru will follow, and then you have one dead Twisted Fate. You might just see it in the mid lane.
Yeah, look at this from Dark Passage. 3 pink wards already out in the early game. Not something we would have ever seen in the beginning games here from them at Worlds. Absolutely making moves and getting those advantages in for themselves early. Those pinks also going to help stave off any kills that AHQ is going to continue to get by pressuring through. 10.5 minutes in, it's 1-0.
It definitely feels like this game is on AHQ's schedule, more so than anything else. westdoor hasn't been pressured without his flash. He was even able to get a gank off without his flash. Now GreenTea is level 6, where if they land a Zenith Blade onto Touch or Holyphoenix, they may be able to straight up kill someone.
He probably needs to just ult first and then follow up and try and lock down Touch for long enough before he can Hurricane a Monsoon, because as long as Touch is ready, GreenTea should never be able to land his E and actually engage straight onto them. So he should be forced to use ult from range. Up in top lane though, small skirmish going on.
Back and forth, both level 8. The heals going to come in to help Fabulous stay sustained on that one. Crystal missing a pink ward towards the top lane. He's going to start heading down towards mid, but still no assault and battery from him just yet. Uh-oh. Touch in a bad spot, but
Ahri was there to block.
Yeah, they don't have the vision.
So it's pretty funny with this top lane matchup we have, because Irelia will actually hit a point where she becomes stronger just in a straight up burst one-on-one. Like once she gets her Trinity Force, and there's a Trinity Force on the side of Nidalee as well, Irelia should actually be able to win it. Simply also because Nidalee no longer gets his like level 6 power spike because she has her ulti from the start, which she obviously didn't used to have. However, second item after Trinity Force and suddenly the Nidalee pick should be stronger once again, especially if you get a defensive item and Irelia don't have enough damage or burst to actually take you down.
Yeah, to me though, the fact that Fabulous didn't press the range advantage earlier on in the game is a pretty big win for Prydz. The mid game there will be strong. Plus, that's the Leona. Pow!
Bada bing, bada boom. Touch goes down in the bottom lane. 3 getting a piece of that one, and the solar flare was spot on. Looks like we're going to be getting a turret or at least a dragon out of this one for AHQ.
That was such a risky play by Touch. Just running down, he had no wards at all in the bush, which actually meant he wasn't ready to react once GreenTea engaged onto him. And we talked about how it shouldn't happen when you have the Janna pick. You should be able to force Leona to actually use the ulti as the main engage. This time around, because there's no ward, he can just walk straight into it.
We also see the potency of the Graves pick in that situation, right?
Oh, crazy.
Of all the other AD carries, he's going to burst harder than all of them. They did it during the duration of the stun, and they stopped Janna from being able to disengage.
Keeping slight gold lead in their favor on the side of AHQ. And starting to get kills around the map now. At least everybody has participated in one of these 2 kills, which is going to help with a few of those item creations, at least the middle part of the recipes. Slow lane in this top side right here, like you're saying, Fabulous not really pressuring on one of his main champions and allowing himself to really be taken out here. Prydz coming up strong on this one. Another Blade Surge to keep himself closed in. Great use of his follow-up.
And this was the power spike for Irelia we talked about here. Again, level 6 from Nidalee. She doesn't really get anything extra. And they're both building towards the Trinity Force. Fabulous, you might end up dying here.
Indeed. Not going to be able to get a heal for himself. He walks in for one last paper cut, and he goes down.
All in potential from Prydz. Too much.
And all of it's made possible because Dark Passage has no pressure on the map. They're being able to slowly and methodically set up these easy kills. No wards in the bottom lane sets up a kill. Easy pressure in the top lane and no pressure in mid lane sets a kill up in the top lane.
Dark Passage can get out of this. We did see when AHQ started to take a hold last time, they were making some desperate moves, but those desperate moves ended up putting them farther behind.
And we really see westdoor put all his attention on this Nidalee pick here to make sure Prydz can be stronger for a longer time of the game in his one-on-one. So he even gives up the dragon for it, but it should be fine for him simply because they want to shut down this Nidalee pick so hard. Oh, Touch, you might be in trouble again.
Oh, Holyphoenix, he gets the Relentless Pursuit off.
Missed it.
Collateral damage just on the outside. The cone missing, and it looks like they do not come up with a kill that time.
Gotta land your ultimate. That's the biggest thing. I don't think it would have been enough to kill, but it may have burned a summoner spell.
See mid lane here, westdoor.
Great dodge by westdoor.
Good damage.
Wild cards coming out. That is a lane win for now. There's still a blue buff on Naru and some potions, so he's going to be healing up just a little bit. Prydz looking to get deep on this one. Finds Crystal level 10 to level 8. He is not long for this world. One more transcendent blade.
Nice.
Right to the ankles.
Well played by Prydz here, moving down. He actually was looking also for the dive onto Naru. He might come anyway.
Whether it's a hook or the sun, GreenTea's spot on with his lockdowns, but they cannot follow up a nice monsoon by Touch there.
It's not over yet, though.
Nas providing himself with a kick. Touch trying to flash out of that one. And
they
it looks
need a lot of help.
Wow, they are just going to close down on this mid-turn right now. Naru's going to be going down. AHQ picking up Dark Passage, trying to make those plays.
And AHQ is just doing whatever they want on the map at the moment. It started from Prydz, killing the top tower, walked down to this mid lane here, was actually sitting ready to dive on Naru, and then Crystal just runs into him. There was no wards at all. He managed to get the first kill. The rest of the team follows up here, and they just get so many kills.
We're 15.5 minutes into the game. I don't think Crystal's used Assault Battery. He has never been in position to use it, is one of the biggest things. He's only been running away, and there just haven't been any windows here for him to sneak in. Not bot lane, not mid lane. He needs to be able to use it. He's just getting caught out. There it is.
Ooh, this could be bad. That was a nice assault and battery, but where's the follow-up? They don't have any slow to continue this fight. A Howling Gale to maybe come out. No. Teleport from Prydz, and he's going to start locking it down with the fight. He starts off. He comes in with a double buff, so he's probably going to be going hard under this. The turret's going to follow after. One more Blade Surge, and Prydz is having the time of his life.
That is all of the top lane ganks from westdoor's TF coming to fruition. 5-0-1, but he had the Trinity Force before that teleport and just destroys Dark Passage.
The walk-up stun as well.
Yeah, so first ult action from Crystal onto GreenTea, and then he just managed to log onto him, escape as well from both Holyphoenix and Touch, and it's just a matter of time before teleport comes in. We have Nas down here as well on the Lee Sin and just cleaning it up.
It was so nice here from Prydz. He actually was able to last hit with his Blade Surge on the first target to get it and have the reset onto Touch.
Oh, it was one. This is unfair.
Oh,
it's 4 people.
Fabulous. GreenTea's like, I want a piece. Give me a piece here. A teleport up to the top lane. Prydz is still going now onto Crystal. He's going to get another one for himself, and this is just getting a little crazy.
Yeah, we've all been in this situation where the enemy team has an Irelia who just snowballs out of control, and she can kill everyone in this one-on-one here, and Fabulous just constantly being shut down by multiple members from AHQ.
Better nerf Irelia.
Better shut her down a little bit, or at least stop people from helping her out, because this is just out of control.
Prydz has been enormous for AHQ. He picked up Nidalee over Fabulous last game, and he still wrecked a game with it. Now giving Fabulous his main champion. Prydz now to the bottom lane. He goes for Holyphoenix here. not being able to use the relentless pursuit to get out of this. Oh, collateral damage, one more shot. Nobody's gonna be in range. Oh, he can't smoke him out. They're gonna get out of this one alive. Fabulous in the top lane. Oh my gosh, they cannot keep him alive for more than 2 minutes. 18 on the clock, 12 kills on the board, and now a 7,000 gold lead.
The ganks are just coming in every conceivable moment right now. The lanes have broken down. Everything is just completely crumbled and fallen apart for Dark Passage.
You pretty much only have one option now, and it's actually to pull a Starhunt Royal Club. Wait in a bush, hope someone from AHQ is going to face check you, get a kill, and just try and delay the game a little bit.
Yeah.
GarnetDevil, I'm trying one-on-one Crystal down here.
Fancy feet. Saying that was a warning shot. Gets out alive on that. No kills right now. The shutout coming in for AHQ, doing a very nice job at keeping everybody omnipresent on the map. They're just showing up out of the woodwork when they want to. Sightstone's already really just closing out on Dark Passage because they're not able to get rid of this vision. AHQ sees them everywhere.
And it was pretty clear we had a plan from Dark Passage coming into the game. Crystal wanted to put all his focus on this bottom lane to make sure Holyphoenix could get ahead. Problem was he did it on Vi before level 6, which means he had no pressure in the lane at all. And in the mid lane, while they did force the teleport, the flash from westdoor just one-on-one with Naru, he didn't place the ward in time to actually spot westdoor going towards the top side. He placed it after the gank had happened. And then from there on and out, it was just impossible for Dark Passage to do anything because Prydz suddenly just started snowballing completely out of control.
And for AHQ, I think this is a big momentum game as well. Right? They win this game, they try and take the positive feelings into their game against EDG.
It would be very big. They come out of this one 2-3. The game against EDG would make it 3-3. Give EDG 3-2. So they need to do what they can here to keep that momentum up.
And we might see the same solo lane setup for them against EDG if they can, because if they can snowball Prydz, we've just seen it right here. He can take over the game.
Prydz getting himself into a 4v1, but everybody else is able to come in and play. Beautiful job to take down Touch. The disengage is no longer there. They get what they want. Looks like they're going to grab this bottom turret and continue to press on. Dragon's alive if they do even want to back off.
Well, I think they're probably just going to go back to Dragon instead. They're actually building very glass cannon on the majority of their team members, so there's a little bit of risk that they would be able to get counted on, but it's 13-0 and a 9,000 gold lead. Make it 10 after this Dragon.
Again, we're just going to have to see Dark Passage try and set up a potential trap. I mean, you have the Ahri pick here. If people face shake you and you land a charm, you do have a lot of damage. Naru needs to be careful in here, though.
Oh, wow. Jeez. GreenTea not afraid to make plays. Dodges out turret shots on that one. He was just out of range on the charm as it pulled him in. Just crossing 20 minutes now. Different part of the game here. 13-0. Prydz 6-0-2 in the top lane. Down in CS, but it doesn't matter. He's been just tearing people's faces off as Fabulous tries to farm. He's getting everything he wants. So you see if they can two-man this up here. Crystal, even afraid to clear that ward.
They were hoping to 1v5 him. Or 5v1 him, rather.
You're only giving him more that tenacity.
Giving him more people to kill.
So it was actually smart enough because everyone else from AHQ had gone back to base. So Dark Passage just sent all 5 members to the top lane, hoping Prydz would overextend.
That basically would have been the Royal Club special from the game we just saw.
It would.
If they would have been able to kill the top lane, they would have immediately had to turn tides to Baron. But
the worst part about that play was we have seen Royal Club do it before, and yet weren't ready for it until we saw the Fist sitting in the bush and was like, oh, they want to kill Dyrus right here.
Oh, that play again.
Oh, right, yeah.
Now AHQ, definitely a possibility to focus on closing this one out, working on getting into the base as fast as possible. Teams are definitely going to see a weakness here. If they cannot close this out, they're going to use it against them.
They have to actually just split up here, use Prydz down this bottom lane because he's so strong. No matter who Dark Passage sent down here, he's going to die. So he can just push it up by himself. He does have teleport ready as well. That Fabulous on Nidalee here might actually look to be a bit more of a team fighter because he can one-on-one, so getting some magic pin on his boots just to try and do some damage with his spear.
This is weird.
Hey, a nice pair of shoes.
It's pretty much his only choice. Honestly, if he's going one-on-one at this point, he's too far behind to do anything, so you might as well stick with your team. And if you can do some damage with your poke, maybe it can pay off.
It's a big maybe.
Took the words right out of my mouth. We'll see what they can continue to provide as pressure here. westdoor has not made too many of the Destiny plays coming up. Dark Passage is keeping themselves on the safe side of things as they stay in a death ball, which isn't really killing too much.
They're just trying to stay together and prevent the carnage that is AHQ.
Uh-oh.
However, the split push is working for AHQ. They need to make this one go in, and that's...
Oh! The kind of rule of thumb here was you're not supposed to leave anybody else on your team. Crystal was looking for a few more wards as Touch backed off, and it cost him his life.
Baron time.
Still 4 members of Dark Passage. I mean, they have to go for this fight. This is the chance to come back. If they can ace AHQ here, they might still have a chance.
A little bit of vision. We've seen the Howling Gale take the Baron. Will it happen for Touch? Looks like, oh, they just turned off of it on this one. Naru's going to be a focus. GreenTea just missing the Zenith, but the Ignite is able to burn him out on the last tick. A few more shots. Prydz picks up 7-0-3 on the game. Looks like they're going to head back for Baron.
It's all about the turn and kill right there for AHQ. They have enough CC and enough initiation that they are completely neutralizing Touch's Monsoon.
Here we go. Crystal's going to try to get into range here. Prydz with just about the amount of HP Fabulous has, still able to fight him down from full. And it looks like Crystal to get into range here. Let's see what AHQ does to trick them into trying to fight this Baron.
They keep staying at this Baron here, so Dark Passage actually managed to force them away, force them to go back to base, delayed him just a little bit. The thing is, AHQ has 2 options right now. You can keep forcing this Baron here. At some point, you will get the picks you need, you will get the team fight, and you should be able to take the Baron. The question is just how long is it going to take you? Otherwise, just go back to what you did before. westdoor sitting in the mid lane, you have GarnetDevil and GreenTea sitting in the bottom lane, and you have Prydz sitting in the top lane, and you just push up every single lane because you are so strong in 1-on-1 2v2. Wow. And it's easy for westdoor to just pick one of the lanes and say, okay, I'm going to go kill the top lane, kill it, get the tower, push it into the base.
So much map pressure for AHQ. Again, can they put that pressure down right now? They're kind of looking for kills. It's all about closing out the game. Teams are going to be able to do that quite fast as we make it out of the group stages. 16-0, looking very good. They got to feel confident, but they're not over-pushing, which is going to get themselves in trouble. Fabulous doing what he can to try and grab vision because they are not able to keep their wards up on even their own side of the jungle. Crystal, level 15 to 11 we're looking at right there. Not having the best game.
HQ should pick up the pace a little bit, honestly. They're up 16 kills to 0. Obviously, they don't want to make a mistake. They're going to try and rinse and repeat exactly what they have done previously.
Prydz had to use teleport before, though, which will actually hurt them a little bit in terms of the split pushing, because he's not able to be down his bottom lane right now. Let's see if they actually want to start this Baron. They do.
I think they've scared Crystal off enough.
GarnetDevil. So he's trying to be a one-man bouncer on this side of the wall. They can always use the ultimate of westdoor if they don't have the vision, but that's not even really gonna happen. There's wards.
However, without
GarnetDevil,
GarnetDevil, they're doing almost no Baron damage. This is not very well
executed there. Definitely a weakness seen in the strategic call there, but they finally pull somebody over. They're just playing the waiting game, I guess. They need to get into the base soon.
But we've seen this before from Touch. I mean, he's running alone here. He's playing way too careless, and he actually ended up costing him his life again. He could have stayed with his AD carry with the rest of his team on the top side, because they already forced AHQ away from the Baron, and then they just managed to get a free kill. Luckily, though, for Dark Passage, they don't actually get anything from it. And actually open top as well, because the entire team of AHQ is now moving away from the Baron, so all the wards they placed before will now get removed, and they actually have to start over once again. You never really want to just have everyone running away from this area. You've just been setting up all the wards.
Yeah, if anything, I just call this AHQ close a little sloppy. They don't need to do anything right now. They're up 17 kills to 0 and 12,000 gold. The game will kind of come to them if they don't make giant mistakes. So they're just doing the same play over and over again and getting small wins, making the lead bigger and bigger, and eventually that will lead to victory. But in a closer game, moves like this would be really risky.
I'm sure EDG is definitely taking note to how they are playing this much of an advantage. Playing a little overconfident, but like we said, not getting themselves in trouble, just getting everything they want. Now, seems like they're kind of congregating in the mid lane. We're waiting for GarnetDevil and westdoor to make their way through. We'll see what AHQ has for another bit of Baron pressure and drawing Dark Passage into their picks.
And I'm not sure if AHQ was actually afraid of actually straight up team fighting just before here. well, not well straight up team fighting, but they had a lot of squishy members. So if you do overextend in a fight, it might actually end up costing you. Now you have some tanky items on Prydz, you have some tanky items on Nas here, which means they can actually dive onto the backline of Dark Passage now and stay alive. And I know they're very far ahead.
Prydz going towards Guardian Angel. westdoor will be able to one-shot people pretty soon if he can finish his death cap. Obviously, GarnetDevil completed some big-time itemization, basically going for a full armor pen Graves build. They're slowly working this one together and maybe setting up a 1-3-1 with Twisted Fate and Irelia.
Nice scrying orb. AHQ throws down the solar flare from over the wall, causing Naru to go into his spirit rush, but he's forced back to the team. That's the third in the flash over the wall. Great positioning to kind of cause chaos. The rest of Dark Passage cannot really catch up to the fight to do any damage to Nas or continue the damage, and they just lose Naru.
Yeah, but he did actually manage to get Nas so low that if they start up a Baron, it could have been a very risky play.
Ooh.
So AHQ back to just pushing up the tower here, and Nas had to go back to base.
The feared flash red card there from westdoor. Not able to pick up the kill. Couldn't land the wild cards afterwards.
You guys are big. Once they do reach the turrets, that Lich Bane finished up. The Triforce is there. They're going to start eating these alive. Look how fast those go down. The turret's not long for this world once AHQ reaches it without any DP members.
And this is basically what they could have done like 10 minutes ago because they were so far ahead. I mean, just push up on this tower here. You are so damn strong. GreenTea can be the guy to dive as well. They just got 2 towers for free.
Now we're really seeing this lead grow and grow and grow. Dark Passage is kind of out of options. They've been out of options for a while.
Creating options out of thin air for sure. Touch has been trying to get the wards necessary, which is kind of making him go down. They cannot find a way back into this one just yet. And that's props to AHQ. Once again, Crystal going very deep on that one. The desperate play is coming out. Looks like the inhibitor will fall here in the mid lane, and it looks like AHQ will be able to go around the horn with pretty nice wave pushing in each of the outside lanes.
But again, I mean, we're seeing so many of the right ideas from Dark Passage, but then they just really know if they can't really execute it in this game because they've fallen so far behind. Simple as it is. And then well, talking about right ideas, the early game was misplayed by Dark Passage. The way they were using Crystal on this and the fact they couldn't control westdoor, but otherwise, I mean, they've been able to hold off and actually go for a kill.
So close. Oh, he knows. He's just kind of hanging out. That sigh every time they see westdoor throw the eye up. He's going to be getting a kill. 4-0-6. The scores looking great across the side of AHQ as they come in at this game 20-0.
I mean, let's talk about the rest of this group here because EDG has the game at the end of the day against Samsung White. And honestly, the games we've seen with AHQ have put them a pretty substantial tier below the rest of the teams in this group. However, the fact remains that EDG is probably not going to be able to beat Samsung White in the last game of the day. And if AHQ could pull out some type of miracle against EDG, they would definitely force that tiebreak. It's just a matter of practicing crisp plays so that if they get a lead against EDG, they can actually close out this game. Because as of now, they've been sitting on a just monster advantage for the last 15 minutes, and they've slowly increased it. That's not how you beat the #1 team from China in EDG.
We'll see what they can do, making a bit more pressure. Oh, Fat Fabulous could be getting hit up right now. He gets himself out with a flash.
And we also have to say, I mean, the EDG way of playing is fairly slow early game, but then you are extremely strong in the late game, team fights.
Exactly.
And AHQ, even if they should get a lead against EDG, if they're not able to close out the game, EDG will come back and become super strong.
Ooh, there goes GreenTea going down. There's a bit of a hit. Touch with a nice ultimate so they can't follow up. Oops. Crystal is just kind of locked in place. He needs the collateral damage. They're going to go on to the next inhibitor turret here, and this looks like it could be grim. Holyphoenix goes down rather, not coming back up from the ashes. 22-1, DP picks up one of those kills for himself. And it looks like it is a force of AHQ out of the base. They've got what they wanted. They'll be back for more.
You can really see the burst damage from AHQ. Compositionally, when they go in, it works very, very well.
Still looking for this Baron. So every time they decide not to go Baron, they actually get some kills, get some towers, get into the base of Dark Passage. Now they're back GreenTea's coming from base.
Baron is their ADD to focus and getting more of the objectives in the base. Right now,
should be able to get this one.
Gonna go back to this one, and it should be safe enough. You are right, Officio. Oh, very close. Seen that before. Nas coming up with the Baron. AHQ buying themselves a bit more strength to bulldoze down in the base of
I had some flashbacks to Season 3 LCS when Bloodwater stole Baron with a rank 1 Janna tornado. Wasn't to happen today at Worlds, but the timing was there if the smite wouldn't have been.
Dragon's alive, so a quick pickup if AHQ wants it as they come back out. Wards going up by Dark Passage that really won't be able to be defended once AHQ gets themselves in range. But they're doing what they can this last part of the game, trying to stave off as much power and really getting a great learning experience out of being this far behind, how to just stop a team from continuously pushing you back in your own base.
Yeah, I mean, again, they have been able to hold AHQ off for now. They've lost 2 inhibitors, and
Right.
I mean, we have seen a few plays from Naru where he's been trying to just like pick off people. We had the pink ward bait down this bottom lane where he almost actually got a kill onto GarnetDevil, but it wasn't meant to be. And I like this from Dark Passage. This is what we need. Sit in the bush and just wait. It worked for Fnatic for a few years.
Together for the Solar Flare and the Graves AoE. This is... No, actually, it does look like they're going to be able to catch GarnetDevil.
Oh,
He is one a little too close.
Oh, run away. No way. Faster. He can't get away. He's dead. He goes down.
He had the right idea, though. He actually was like, okay, okay. Is there anyone waiting here?
Oh, Prydz diving in. westdoor on the outside. The wild cards practically pass through the entire team. And the HP bars of Dark Passage just getting obliterated. Touch is going to be running outside the base. He says, follow me. You do not want our Nexus. But they will. AHQ gets the surrender bow from Dark Passage. And they Nexus-size their right to victory.
Look at the scoreboard there. 27 kills to 2. Definitely the better team in this matchup.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it was all about westdoor and Prydz in the start. Both gangs from westdoor went to the top lane. They got kills onto Fabulous up there, got Prydz rolling, got the tower. Didn't even care about the dragon. Gave it to Dark Passage just to snowball Prydz. And obviously it paid off because suddenly he could just teleport down to bottom lane, pick up some more kills, and take over the game, to be honest, together with westdoor.
Prydz is a guy you need to shut down because he plays with a lot of it. He comes out very strong for the team. And we saw westdoor making that a point in the early part of the game. Strong play from all of the AHQ members in this one.
Still really scary, the fact you can have like 20 kills to 0 and you still use, what were we, 34 minutes into the game to actually finish it here. I mean, because at first they were baiting the Baron for like 5-6 minutes. Dark Passage managed to always, you know, interrupt them, and
yeah. The nice thing is they still were able to pull off that nice victory in front of the home crowd.
For sure.
There hasn't been too much to cheer about. TPA obviously having their struggles in the group stage. AHQ struggling as well. This is the last hope, really, from the GPL region. They lose one more game, they're out. But I totally agree. The story of this game is how long it took after their initial surge.
And they can't do it again.